We are live. Don't pick your nose. Don't pick your nose.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that reminder.
Like that. Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear okay?
That's
Can
not
you?
on?
Is it on?
Mine's on. Can you hear me now?
I didn't turn mine on. I was saving batteries. Stacy, welcome back from Italy, where there was no ice. So it all went down. There was red wine. Good. Well, welcome back. It's great to have you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And as I said to Meryl when she came in, she wants Google Earth to see her. But Shabbat Shalom, it's great to see everybody. Let's begin our service with the Shabbat Shalom Nigun.
Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Ya lai, 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 ya lai, 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 lai. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Ya lai, 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 lai. Ya lai, 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 lai. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Ya lai, 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 lai. Ya lai, 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 lai. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom.
It grows dark. We light candles and drink a sip of wine, and the world changes if we let it. There will be music and friendship and food if we allow it. There will be Torah and wisdom and godness if we permit it. There will be quiet and napping and deep rest if we are open to it. There will be study and expansion and new ideas if we consent to it. There will be prayer and blessings and meditation if we give into it. There will be hope and renewal and clarity if we walk toward it, if we let it, if we allow it, if we permit it, if we open up to it, if we consent to it, if we give into it, if we walk toward it, the world changes for one day. Shabbat happens if we let it. And Al, I'd like to invite you to light the candles. There is.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shall Shabbat.
Use this guy.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, let's see if we can make it through Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho. Ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'veratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat lechayim. It's one of those Shabbases, right? The batteries are starting to go down a bit, but that's okay. We continue as we welcome the Shabbat bride, if I'm not mistaken, with Lecha Dodi. It's on page 3.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala. In D minor.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we go. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur achad hishmi'anu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shemu tiferet v'lithilah lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki hi mikor haberacha merosh mikadem nesucha sof maaseh
yalalai, yalalai, Pnei Shabbat, Nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabela.
Please rise and face any way you wish as we welcome the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom atarat bala gam b'simcha uvtzola toch hamunei am segulam boi chala Chala lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 Pnei Shabbat
Nekabela. Please join me on page 5. Yitkadah v'yitkadah shemei Rabbah B'alma tivrach ruthei v'yamlich malchuthei B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayetech al Beit Yisrael B'hagala b'hagala uv'izman karivim eru
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lal me'al maya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudusha le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Ta'amiran be'alma v'imeru. Amen. Be seated. You may join me in the Ma'ariv Aravim in Hebrew. On page 8, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, behochma potech she'arim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv haravim. Praised are you, O God, who brings on the evening. Praised are you, O God, who loves his people Israel, and customarily we rise for the Shema on page 9. You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen. Please join with me on page 11 in the English. Adonai, God of the outstretched hand, who brought our ancestors out of confinement in Egypt, release all those bodily confined for the pursuit of justice. Release us from the prisons and the calluses we have constructed around our hearts. Release our hands from the shackles we have placed on them, and guide them to its work. Release our minds from the deceptions in which they are imprisoned. Remove exhaustion from our eyelids and bodies. Release our spirits from terror and fear. Renew us that we may be renewed. Set us on our journey to the land we are about to enter.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi khamo khaba elim Adonai mi khamo khane darba kodesh norati hiloto seifela norati hiloto seifela malachut hara umanecha lokei ayom lefi Moshe ze'elionu me'omru ze'elionu me'omeru Adonai yidlo le'olam va'ed Adonai yidlo le'olam va'ed mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh norati hiloto seifela norati hiloto
May we live each day with fullness of mind, attending to life and all it places before us. Thus will we live without hesitation, and then can we lie down in peace, having given life our all. Only then can we rise up in anticipation of a new day, knowing we have so much more to give. Let mercy refine our actions, and justice shield us from our enemies. Let our lives be a vehicle for grace and mercy, bringing peace and comfort to all in need. May the source of life spread a talit of peace over us, over all Israel, over Jerusalem, and over the entire world. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu be'etza tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu lema'an shemecha baruch ata Adonai, ha'poresu sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Praised are you, O God, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael, we are celebrating Shabbat, and as I said a little bit earlier, I think I said it to Raina, each week out here it gets nicer and nicer. It's going to be great in February. Perfect. You what? I got to have a dream. What a great name for a sermon. I have a dream.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat l'dorotam v'ridolam yalai yalai yalai
We continue on page 14. When Israel prays, we do not pray all at once. Rather, each congregant prays by himself or herself, first one and then the other. And after all the congregations furnish all their prayers, and the angel who oversees prayer takes all the prayers that were said in all the synagogues and makes them into a crown and places them on the head of the Holy One as we rise for the Amidah.
Adonai, Sifatai Tivtah, Ufiyagi, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sifatai Tivtah. Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bagevurot, Ubido Melach, Melech Memid, Umechaya, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
You may be seated. Stacy, do you want to come to a reading? Got to do it in Italian, though.
You could be here a while.
Yeah, right. Page 17.
Holy are you, creator of holiness. May all beings greet you as holy each day. Holy am I, created in the image of holiness, that I might greet each being as holy each day. Holy are all beings created in the image of holiness, that they might greet me as holy each day. And holy is this world, created as the home of holiness, that all beings might greet each day.
Do not think that the words of prayer, as you say them, go up to God. It is not the words themselves that ascend, it is rather the burning desire of our hearts that rises like smoke toward heaven. If your prayer consists of words and letters and does not contain your heart's desire, how can it rise up to God? Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amacha Yisrael utefilatam be'ahava tekabel uvratzon utehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. We write a thank you note every week, and we offer our hodaot, our prayers of thanks. And what are you grateful for this week? First of all, before it is so good to see you live and in person. Right? It's been like a long time. I can't hear you.
Are you sure it's live?
Well, you look great. It's great to see you. Okay, who's grateful for what? Yeah, Raina. My family. Al.
This past Monday,
And they're coming at 25 of 6 to 4, right? You went to see Chicago? Really? I'm seeing Gordon Lightfoot on Sunday. Yeah, he's going to come out with his walker. I mean, the guy is what, 83 years old? He was great. Yeah, so was Meatloaf. Look what happened to him. Yeah, no, Gordon Lightfoot is terrific. He still performs, and he still sounds good, and he can still play a guitar. Right. His guitar at 84 years old is not is so much better than mine at 45. Who else is grateful for what? Celsius. Stacy. Okay, so you just took my sermon. All right, you just took my sermon, but no, it's okay. No, how would you know? Right, right. I'm going to talk about it, but they're amazing pictures from the James Webb Space Telescope. If you haven't seen the first set of pictures, you must. You absolutely must. I'll be talking a little bit about that tonight.
I am happy and feel blessed for family and friends. And I am always reminded that family does not have to be blood relatives because you guys are my family.
Aww.
And I have a lot of good friends that are my family.
Beautiful. What a nice, anybody know the Hebrew word for family? Mishpacha. Right. Now, it comes from a Hebrew word. It comes from a root, shafach, shin, pei, chet, okay? Which is a very old root. It's so old, nobody knows where it comes from. So I made up a story once where the root came from. I made it up. It comes from the root shin pei chaf as opposed to shin pei chet. Okay, it sounds the same sort of, but it's spelled differently. So, we don't quibble with details. But shafach means to pour out, and so a mishpacha is the place where people pour out their love for you. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I made that up a couple of years ago. Yeah, and one day I'll tell you my midrash on charoset. Anybody else grateful for anything? Paul, you're sitting there, you're having such a good time. Isn't it great? See, the clouds are going by, the prayers are going up. Andy Cantor?
My son started a new job this week.
Oh yeah? Doing what?
That. His usual stuff. He's a data analyst. He analyzes data.
Hence, a data analyst.
Amazingly, it's what he went to school for.
Really? Very
Go
cool.
figure.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. Cantor?
My daughter had her first overnight with travel camp, and she
Ooh.
survived 3 days and 2 nights in the DMV area, and she had a great time.
Ooh, that's significant.
What? I survived. I was fine. It was my husband that was worried more.
Really?
Yeah.
So Naomi was home for 4 days. She brought her dog. She wanted to go to the beach. So she did. So I took care of her dog for 4 days. And that was very nice. The dog likes me. But I was saying earlier that, to see my bar and bat mitzvah students married and my bat mitzvah students having babies, like Alana. So one of Naomi's best friends is from the temple. And she came into the house, which she does every time Naomi's here. And she's an HR professional, and she came in with her gorgeous pit bull dog. Oh, beautiful dog, really a very gentle dog. And I was looking at both of them, and I said, I can't believe, how far we've come, and to watch not children. They're real, honest to God people. And I was grateful that I got to see that and talk with them and all that. Indeed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulachana El Hodot. Praised are you, O God, to whom it is fitting that we give thanks.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atah melech Adon, Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha leharis et amcha Yisrael, b'chol hit u'b'chol sham, b'shlomech. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Before we take a moment for our own silent prayer, we pray for those who are ill. And this evening, I don't have anybody on my list, but is there anybody that you're especially praying for this evening? Nobody? Nobody else is ill. That's good. Let's keep it that way. Please join the cantor in the Mishaberach. Let's take a moment for our own silent meditation. So you already know what I'm going to speak about because Stacy already, she had no idea. She had no idea. So you've known me a long time. A lot of you have known me for 25 years. And I have a whole bunch of interests outside of doing Jewish stuff and teaching and all that. One of my very, very first interests ever was science. I was absolutely mesmerized by science. I loved physics, I loved biology, I loved chemistry, and I mean, the more science I could get into, the happier I was. And when I was about 10 years old, 8, 9, and 10, my parents owned a summer camp. You didn't know that, but they owned a summer camp. It's called Camp Clovelly. And one of the people who worked there was a man named Brian Palmer, who means nothing to you, okay? Brian Palmer was at that time probably about 18, maybe 19 years old, and he was hired to be one of the maintenance people, and he was this really strong, good-looking, rugged guy. And he joined the Canadian Navy. Yes, Canada has a Navy, all 3 ships. But he joined the Navy, but he came over to our house just before my bar mitzvah. So a couple of years after camp and all that, he came over and he gave me a gift. He gave me a book, okay, which I still have to this day. And I've memorized it. It's about 400 pages, but I've gone through it so many times over the past years, especially when I was a child, much younger, a kid. It was called the Knowles, Knowle, Book of Knowledge. And it had all sorts of cool stuff in there, but he wrote an inscription in there, which I remember. I haven't read it in decades, but I remember it. He said, "Knowledge is the great divider of men." Pardon the gender specific, he was not worried about that. "Knowledge is a great divider of men. It separates the rich from the poor, the wise from the simple, the strong from the weak. Not all knowledge can be found in books, but some of which can be found in this book. Enjoy it, Brian Palmer." I remember that. It's a beautiful inscription, and I've always carried that with me. Not all knowledge can be found in books. As Stacy mentioned earlier, some knowledge can be found in pictures. So you know this week that the James Webb Telescope went online a couple of months ago, and they were adjusting the mirrors, and now we have the first pictures. The first pictures are astonishing. Astonishing, okay? And I think the telescope's working better than it was supposed to. It's about 1 million miles away from us, and there's nothing to obscure any of the sights. And it's got an unbelievable range. And I think the first pictures we saw were from 13 billion light years away. Well, when you consider that the universe is 13.4 billion right? 13.4 billion years old, this is seeing, I don't want to call it the edge of the universe because that's not accurate at all, but at least it's the farthest we've seen to the observable universe. Now, when you consider 13.4 billion light years, okay, that's the distance light has to travel in 13.4 billion years. It's a number that you cannot comprehend. No human can comprehend it. Now, we'll look at that. And then we look at the picture from Voyager just before it left our solar system. There was a picture looking from beyond, just under Saturn's rings back at Earth. And do you remember what that picture was called? You don't remember what that picture was called? The pale blue dot, right? Carl Sagan called it the pale blue dot. And you have to really look carefully at the picture and to find this little blue dot. And the picture was taken just before Voyager 2, I think, left the solar system. So, why am I mentioning that? Because when you look at us and who we are relative to the rest of the universe, or even the solar system, we are not even grains of sand. I think this is what the author of the book of Ecclesiastes meant when he said about all of us, vanity, vanity, everything is vanity. Doesn't matter who we are, we're all going to end up in the sea, and then we're going to come back, and life just keeps going on, and ashes to ashes and dust to dust and all that. Not a very uplifting book, and that's why I was doing my doctorate in it. Don't ask me why. But he was right. It's almost like he knew what insignificance was. Now, why am I talking about how insignificant we are? Because we have a chance to be not insignificant. Our chance to be not insignificant is our gift of our humanity and our humanness. We are living in a time in our country where hate seems to be du jour. You can go anywhere you want in this country and somebody hates you. As Jews, we are even more sensitive to that. Somebody put out today a statement about some political appointee, and they said, this Jew was appointed as something or other. And it was an official spokesman. And I'm looking at that and I'm saying, are you kidding me? The anti-black, anti-woman, anti-Semitic, anti-gay, no matter what you are, there's somebody anti. And I'm looking at this, and sometimes I feel like you do. I despair. It's like, where are we going to go from this? I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to start killing each other? We're going to continue to divide our families and so forth. And then I look and I see this picture of the pale blue dot, and I see the picture of the universe from 13 billion light years away, and I say, you know what? We may be insignificant, but if we don't want to fade into insignificance, we better start growing up and treating each other as a community, and with respect and with integrity and with honesty. We can have our disagreements, but as soon as we start with the hate, we diminish ourselves into nothingness. We become consumed with hate. It is Shabbat. It is a time for us to reflect on who we are and the kind of people that we were this past week and the kind of people that we want to be in the coming week. Are we going to be people who are going to continue to flaunt our insignificance and make somebody else feel insignificant? Or are we going to raise each other up, despite our differences, despite our sexuality, despite our color, despite our gender? What are we going to be? Who are we going to be? The James Webb Telescope saw 13.4 billion light years away. But you know where it can't look? It can't look into our hearts. Only we can. And only we can look into the heart of somebody else and see their humanity and raise them up from what they would be insignificant in the universe to giants. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Let's continue with page 23. Please rise. Chalenu. We are the only species that we know of that can say the Kaddish. A prayer which proves our significance. And this evening, before we do Kaddish, we remember Moses Annenberg, Marguerite Aronson, Dr. Samuel Barr, Harvey Braverman, Mel Cohen, Mary Dwork, Howard Esserman, Sidney Fiedler, Howard Gold, Peter Gold, Marilyn Greenberg, Ruth Fisher Katz, Jerome Arnold Cohn, Bertram Leffert, Dr. Jack Levin, Dr. Shirley Lipset, Charles Mayling, Dr. Sidney Niederhofer, Louis Frank Niederman, Thelma Pess, Lucille Pollock, Matilda Rosen, Albert Schwartz, Louis Schwartz, Cecile Silcott, Bella Silverstein, Barry Weinberger, and in the past, Shaloshim, we remember Victor Lefkowitz and Ken Moser, and in the past, Shiva, we remember Charlie Weissman, the beloved father of Jan Auerbach. Are there any other names for the Kaddish that you would like listed? Please join with me on page 25. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha barichu. Le'ela minkal birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alama v'imeru. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say, Amen. You may be seated. I would have picked them up for you. Wendy. Good.
He thought I was straining. Do I need to pull this down? No. Straining my back. That's why I wasn't here last Friday. But I'm doing much better thanks to my wonderful chiropractor. So, Shabbat Shalom and welcome to another beautiful night out here. Although my hair doesn't really feel like it because it's getting kind of frizzy, and that's very annoying, ladies and gentlemen. What do you want me to do? Oh, you can't hear me?
Microphone out. Why don't you take the microphone out?
Okay, how do I do that? This way? Ta-da! Okay, so, I'm not used to speaking with the microphone because my voice is pretty loud. But it's nice to see you all here tonight. Barbara is on our board of trustees, as is Al and myself. So thank you for being here with us. And Al has a wonderful experience coming up, hopefully in a couple of weeks. Your first grandchild. Yes, so that's exciting. So we have some cool things coming up next month. On August 16th, which I think is a Tuesday, Sisterhood is having their famous game night again. We have this annually. It's a lot of fun. We're not having it here at the temple. We're going to have it at a member's house. As yet to be determined, but it's somewhere in Ocean Township, and and it's going to be great. We play games, we have pizza, we have fun, we laugh. It's just to drink wine, have dessert. It's a really, really nice night. And then a couple of nights later,
am I correct, Al, is the Blue Claws Night, Jewish Heritage Night with the Blue Claws in Lakewood. It's $10. You can sign up for it on Shul Cloud, or if you don't want to, you can drop off a check here with George at the office. And of course, after that, we have the holidays coming up in September, but I don't want to rush the summer away. So, yes?
Our Kabbalat 80th birthday celebration.
Oh, yes, you can say something.
No.
Oh.
I was going to say something. I saw it online from Axelrod Theater. It's going to be at Bellworks. And I thought, it would be really nice if some people from the synagogue went, from the temple went.
What is it?
It's July 31st, and it's at Bellworks. I've never
In
been
Home
there.
Bell, I've never
very
been.
nice. It's lovely. Yeah.
And Cy was at a special birthday party.
I was at Art's birthday party.
Oh, they
Yeah.
had-
Yeah, yeah.
oh, because they announced this is celebration of his birthday.
Okay. And you heard me before speaking about family does not have to be blood. So, many years ago, 22 to be exact, my then husband and I took in 2 of our students to live with us. Some of you may remember that. Yes. So, and they were 13 and 16 at the time. Their little sister went to live with another family. We all taught together. They had a pretty horrible life. We might have been considered crazy that we took in 2 teenagers, but I would do it all over again if I could. And so I've seen the girls over the years, and even though one of them lives in Mississippi, which is Christy, who, by the way, helped paint the youth lounge downstairs here, and she used to babysit for one of our, kind of guide him as he attended religious school on Wednesdays and Sundays. So anyway, and grew up with no real religion at all. So yesterday, I had the pleasure of spending the day with her little sister, who is not 7 years old anymore, but she's almost 30, and with her oldest daughter, Adriana, who is 16. And and Adriana's up here from Mississippi. She's staying with Ashley for 2 weeks, so we're getting together as often as we can. And life has a cycle that goes round and round and round. She looks exactly like her mother, which is really strange every time I see her. But she's not blood. None of them are, but they are my family. So I just wanted to tell you that little story tonight. And I wish everybody a good weekend and a good Shabbat, and I will see you next week.
Havdalah tomorrow night at 6:30 online. Havdalah. In my regular Zoom room, all the information is up on the temple website. Oh, Motzi.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in song together. As our joyful prayer is said, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Motzi lechem min haaretz, v'tei avon. If you were here last week for Teo's Oneg, you remember it, right? It was really, really good. This week is going to be another awesome one. I promise you.
So I had something I always forget to do. So, Ted does a wonderful job.
He does.
Everything together and just makes it together.
Yeah, well, there's, I think the avocado salad is better than that.
And by the way,
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, he puts a lot of effort. So when you see him, thank him. Yeah. Our closing song is Biyado. Is it in D minor?
D minor, yes.
What is it?
D minor.
D, as in dog.
Yes. בידו כרוחי ואיתי שם בעירה ואם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא אירא ואם רוחי גבייתי my soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us all and keep us.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine over all of us and be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom.
May God's face shine over all of us and give us all the blessings of peace. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.
Did that modulate to the right place?
Thank
Oh, it
you,
did.
everybody. Thank you, thank you. Well done.
I like having the guitar.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was playing in the afternoon though, so my hands are a little tired.
They're going to say
Came
you're
across this-
all warmed up.
Yeah, right. I came across this Linda Ronstadt song that she did with Emmylou Harris. Called it in the Tucson set. It's called the Tucson Sessions, and it's called 1917. It's a song.